A wise master once said, "Every stroke of the hammer builds not just the house, but the man who wields it." In a quiet village nestled between towering mountains and lush forests, an aging carpenter named Kenji prepared to retire. He had spent his life crafting homes with meticulous care, ensuring every beam and every brick was placed with precision. His reputation for excellence spread far and wide, and many sought him to build their homes, believing that the structures he created carried an essence of his soul. Kenji had always given his best, but as he neared retirement, fatigue set in, and his heart longed for rest. He yearned for days spent watching the sunset, free from the weight of responsibility. Just as he was about to set down his tools for good, his master, the wealthy and wise Lord Haruki, made one final request. "Kenji, I need you to build one last house." Kenji hesitated. His hands, once steady and strong, trembled slightly with age. His heart was no longer in his work, and he longed for rest. However, he could not refuse Lord Haruki, who had always been kind to him. With a weary sigh, he agreed. But unlike his past projects, Kenji approached this one differently. He rushed through the foundation using cheaper materials and ignoring the fine details he once prided himself on. He cut corners, thinking, "It's just one last house. No one will notice the difference." The walls were erected hastily, the wood was not as polished, and the roof was not as sturdy as it should have been. He didn't ensure the nails were driven deep or that the doors fit perfectly into their frames. His mind was already on his retirement, and his work lacked the heart and dedication that had defined his career. After months of half-hearted labor, the house was finally complete. It stood tall, but it lacked the soul of his previous creations. He walked to Lord Haruki, ready to hand over the keys and step into the life of leisure he had dreamed of. But to his surprise, Lord Haruki smiled warmly and handed the keys back to Kenji. "This house," the master said, "is my gift to you." Kenji's breath caught in his throat. He had built this house for himself, and he had built it poorly. His heart sank as he realized what he had done. Had he known he was building his own home, he would have given it his very best. He would have placed every brick with care, polished every wooden beam, and ensured that it would stand strong for generations. His last act of work, which should have been a masterpiece, was instead a rushed and careless structure. He would now live in the home he had built with so little effort. Kenji sat on the steps of his new home that evening, staring at the crooked door and the uneven floorboards. Regret settled heavily in his heart. The lesson was clear. The effort you put into your work today determines the life you live tomorrow. This realization struck him deeper than any hammer he had ever wielded. His entire life he had built with purpose, with heart, and with passion. But in his final task, he had allowed complacency to rob him of excellence. That night, as the stars blinked above him, he whispered to himself, "I will fix this. I will restore my home." With renewed purpose, Kenji set to work, not for a lord, not for a client, but for himself. He replaced the weak beams, reinforced the walls, and ensured that every nail was where it should be. Though it took time, he built the home he deserved, and in doing so, he found a deeper truth. Life gives back what you put into it. Kenji's story is more than just a tale of craftsmanship. It is a metaphor for life. Every action we take builds the foundation of our future. Every moment of effort shapes the structure of our destiny. Every shortcut taken weakens the integrity of what we are creating. Many of us, like Kenji, work hard for others but sometimes neglect our own personal growth. We pursue goals half-heartedly, hoping to reap the rewards while avoiding the hard work necessary for real success. But the truth is undeniable. The quality of our efforts today determines the quality of our future. Imagine your life as the house you are building. Are you using the best materials? Are you putting in your best work? Or are you rushing, cutting corners, and assuming it won't matter in the long run? This story is a reminder that we are all carpenters of our own fate. Our actions, our dedication, and our commitment shape the homes we must eventually live in. Whether it is a career, relationships, or personal growth, every brick laid carelessly will show in the final structure. Kenji's realization came late, but it was not too late to correct his mistake. Like him, we all have the opportunity to rebuild, to put in the effort we may have neglected before. The question is, will you build wisely? If you are studying, study with intention. Every lesson is a brick in your future success. If you are working, give your best. Every effort shapes your reputation and skill. If you are nurturing relationships, be present. Love and care build stronger bonds. The effort you put into your life today will determine the house you live in tomorrow. So pick up your tools and build something beautiful. Lord Haruki's wisdom was not in the house he gifted Kenji, but in the lesson it carried. Kenji learned that no effort is ever wasted, and that our greatest work should be for ourselves, not just for others. His regret turned into purpose, and his renewed effort shaped a home worthy of his lifetime of dedication. Let this story serve as a mirror for your own journey. Are you building with care, or are you rushing toward the future without thought? The choice is yours. But remember, one day you will have to live in the house you've built. So, build well. Let me know in comments. What kind of house are you building? If this story inspired you, please like this video, leave a comment about what it taught you, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Don't forget to subscribe for more uplifting content and life-changing stories. Together, let's spread positivity.